What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Scrolling with Haley.
I am Haley Karania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. If you go by the ESPN FPI projections, where teams are going to end up from a win-loss perspective, one that we have referenced that could be a little better than some people think are the Florida Gators. The ESPN FPI has them at 6.7 wins this season. So 6 wins knocking on the door of 7. And there are a lot of teams in that category with either just at 7 or 6 close to 7. So they'd be in a pretty big classification with other college football teams. But that'd probably be a little behind where we are projecting Florida to be this year. Zach Abolverdi joins us now. He covers the Florida Gators. We're going to talk about their fall camp, which has been set. But when you saw the ESPN FPI projection for Florida, Zach, was that a little ahead, behind, kind of where you are currently projecting season 1 for John Sumrall?
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly behind, but I also understand the projection just because of the season that they're coming off of and the question marks that they have. Like, there's obviously talent on this team, and there's certainly a chance that they can exceed it. But given the questions in the middle of the defense, the quarterback position, the offensive line, like those are big question marks. Do they have the bodies and the guys there to be able to make it work? Potentially, but that's something that's got to come to fruition.
So when you look at what is an appropriate evaluation of where we're at today, right now, are they being fairly represented in the preseason, I guess, predictions and the preseason schedule and the preseason rankings? You think that they're a little overvalued, undervalued, or about right?
Honestly, Greg, I think they're about right. Like, some publications have them as right on the cusp of a preseason top 25 team. Other ones have them right outside of it. I don't necessarily know if I'm ready to peg Florida as a preseason top 25 team. But they've got some very, very talented players at premium positions that if they can shore up some of their question marks, they've got a chance to be really good if they stay healthy. But, I mean, coming off a 4-8 season and it's a brand new staff and some brand new players and transfers, I mean, half the roster's new. It's tough for me to put them at that point. But I can understand some of the folks that do have them there because, you know, they see the skill positions and they see some of the guys on defense. Like, there's some dudes now.
Let's go to fall camp. And, Zach, you reported that this is now in stone what fall camp, fall practice is going to look like. Anything stick out from that schedule that you saw released from the Gators of how they're going to manage fall practice this year?
No, I mean, it's pretty typical. I mean, they're going to start August 5th, so they're a month out from the season, and they're going to get 2 scrimmages in before they start their game prep. I'm very interested to see how it plays out just with some of the position battles going on. I really think that even if they name a quarterback, they're going to spend those first 2 weeks of the season and obviously training camp evaluating those 2 guys. And they might not be 100% concrete on a starter until they see how the first 2 games go before they go to that first SEC road trip at Auburn. That, along with kind of figuring out their offensive line and some of their defensive packages, man, that's going to be priority number 1 these next few weeks.
So when you look at where they're at as far as the quarterback competition is concerned, I mean, I think a lot of us anticipated it being Philo, comfort with the offense, understanding of the offense.
Correct.
But the more I've kind of heard some things down there, like, do not rule out the possibility of Terrell Jones winning this job. So where do you kind of see the quarterback battle going?
I mean, man, we can only go off of what we've seen, right? So, like, if you're just going off of the spring game, and I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff, so, like, I'm paying attention to reps and who's repping with who and who's going out there for what series. Like, it was pretty clear to me just looking at who was in there with Harrison Moore, who's going to be for the starting center, that the way that it was at the end of the spring was that Aaron had the edge. But then you look at the spring game and you see the way Trammell played, you obviously cannot write him off. I think that there are some things about his game and some strengths that he has that is superior to Aaron Philo, but there's clearly advantages that Aaron has and probably a comfort level that the staff feels with him. But I think that based on the way that the spring game went, and not just that, like, they're going to keep giving Trammell opportunities to win the job. I do still think that it's Aaron's to lose, but he doesn't have a stranglehold on it. And I do think that they're going to give Trammell some opportunities, maybe even in the first half of the first couple games, just to see what he can do, but he's going to have to earn that.
You think what this team has the opportunity to be, and we all talk offense. Zach Abolverdi joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline to talk Florida Gators. We don't focus a ton on defense, and it's easy to get enamored with Jaden Baugh, Dallas Wilson, some of the pieces you're going to have offensively, which we think the offense can be pretty good regardless of who's at quarterback. Like, my thought is you get a point guard that knows where to distribute the football, you're going to be in pretty good shape offensively. Not can the defense be okay, but who can the playmakers be? Who could the potential game wreckers be on that side of the ball?
Well, obviously, the Miles Grahams of the world. I think Bryce Thornton has got a chance to really take off in this defense. I think they gave him that number 1 jersey for a reason. To me, the guy that may be the biggest key to that defense is Brendan Bett. They got to replace Mekhi Barrow in the middle at nose tackle, and the guy that did it last year when he was out for 4 games was Brendan Bett. Now, he wasn't big enough to play nose tackle last year, or probably strong enough. He's put on weight and added strength this offseason so that he can be Florida's starting nose tackle. There's some other guys they want to count on there, but, like, man, those guys don't grow on trees, and Florida doesn't have an obvious nose tackle body at that position. So is Brendan strong enough, big enough? Does he have enough stamina to handle that role game in, game out, week in and week out in the SEC? I think he can. Rusty Witt actually named him as one of the standouts in the weight room this offseason with the other 2 guys that aren't a surprise, Jaden Wood and Jaden Baugh. But for Brendan Bett to be getting talked about like that, that's good news for the Gators. I think there's also question marks in the secondary. I mean, there's not a lot of great depth at corner. Like, the guys at the top are really good, but if there's an injury there, things could get dicey. And then figuring out their safeties, I think that they got the guys back there, but I would not be surprised to see Bryce Thornton playing maybe more star than we anticipate. Florida getting Cam Dooley and DJ Coleman on the field at safety. So there's a lot of different personnel and packages that they can play with on that side of the ball.
Defense, I think they'll be just fine. I don't know if they'll be elite by any stretch, but I think they'll be fine. The one position group that continues to hold me up is the offensive line. And then again, though, I mean, I think if you talk to some folks down there, they're a little concerned. They've been publicly concerned about it. But I think internally they might be a little more ahead of schedule than they're giving off right now. But they're trying to issue a bit of a challenge to those guys throughout this offseason. So how likely is it that the offensive line is actually not a vulnerability, but potentially just a solid part of their offensive roster?
There's certainly the potential for that, and I think some of the concerns is really more of the unknown than it is like we don't think these guys can do it. I'm just for at some spots they weren't sure, maybe still aren't sure who is exactly going to emerge. I think the interior of their offensive line should be okay. Like you get Najee Harris back, multi-year starter, Harrison Moore at center coming over from Georgia Tech. I think those would be two solid pieces. TJ Shanahan, I believe, from Penn State is going to be the guy that kind of emerges at right guard and will start there. And, John Summerall has called him one of the strongest, most physical players on the team. If that holds, that should be good for the interior of the offensive line. To me, it's about the tackle spots. I think Emeka Ugorji from Stanford, he's going to be their left tackle. I'm very intrigued about that right side, though, because you got Kanan Jones back, but they are really giving Bryce Lovett a look there at right tackle. And I know a lot of Florida fans maybe have wrote him off because he's kind of bounced around between guard and tackle, but they really like him on that right side, and I would not be surprised if he gave Kanan Jones a run for his money. So those two tackle spots are the ones I'm watching. You got Egan Boyer as well on the left side, but those are obviously two super important positions that you got to make sure are good to go.
Zach Abolverdi joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline talking Florida Gators. Interesting what you just brought up about Brendan Bett and nose, and it made me think back, and I know you offered versatility, and I know there are different maybe position groups that could add guys, take guys away, that could allow Brad White to do some different things. But I think back to when those Kentucky defenses were really good, and a lot of people are going to immediately go to, a Josh Allen off the edge or different players. When they were good, they had a dude that could sit in the middle and could eat up space and eat up blocks. Is that the sort of one of the discussion points of, hey, this is when Brad's group can really be good, is to have that guy that's not going to have 3.5 TFLs a game, not going to be one of the league leaders in tackles for loss or disruption, but allow everybody else to be able to do different things?
Yeah, I mean, I think you talk to the staff and you kind of ask around internally. That was 100% their biggest concern and something that they didn't feel great about after the portal and recruiting class. Like they knew that the fact that they weren't going to be able to go out in the spring and get a second window to try and go out and get a big body up front, that's the problem. And that is 100% the thing that could hold them back defensively. Along with that, the other guy that I think that they got DJ Kalu from Baylor. He's a big body. I think the name to watch for is Joseph Mbachi. They really like this guy, man. He's a raw football player, came from overseas. He has not played the game a long time, but they fought tooth and nail with Texas to get this kid on campus, and then they even fought off teams in the transfer portal this offseason. It was a freshman last year, but they've put on, I want to say, about like 25 pounds on this kid so that he can play more nose. But they think the sky's the limit for this guy. So he would be the one that I would point to on the defensive line as a potential breakout candidate. And if that happens, give them another option inside, I think that'll bode well for them.
Finally, as we get you out of here, what does success look like in your eyes for John Summerall in year one?
Flip the record. If you go from 4-8 to 8-4, I think that Florida fans will be happy. I think that people will feel progress. I think that means that you're probably getting a marquee win at some point along the way. And that's also a record, I think, that will keep your top-rated recruiting class intact and maybe even attract some others at the end. But I think 8 is the magic number that will make people happy. 7 is still improvement. 6 and people will still be barking.
There you go. Zach, great stuff, man. Thanks for hopping on with us, talking some Florida Gators. Help put us into perspective what that practice is going to look like now that it's in the books and what that roster looks like as well, man. Look forward to catching up soon.
No doubt. Appreciate you, fellas.
There you go. Zach Abolverdi joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline to talk Florida Gators. Their fall practice in the books. August 5th, they get going. So we're right around the corner from fall practice inside the SEC. I was thinking back, Greg, thinking of a couple of other guys that we referenced there for some of Brad White's defenses. I want to follow up on that, discuss that a little further next on Jocks.
Jocks 94.5 is live on YouTube every weekday, plus video shorts and podcasts. Find us at Jocks 94.5 and smash the subscribe and like button so you never miss a moment. Jocks 94.5 on YouTube.
Scrolling with Haley.
I am Haley Karania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.